Narito na naman ang mainit na balita mula sa mundo ng politika. Isang mainit na usapin ang yumanig sa Senado ngayong araw matapos ang matinding pagdinig na nagbunyag umano ng sabwatan sa likod ng ilang controversial na issue. Sa harap ng publiko ay siniwalat ni alias Rene ang di umano'y mga lihim na kasunduan na kinasasangkutan ng ilang opisyal. Kabilang sa mga nabanggit ay sina Senador Ronald Bato de la Rosa at Senadora Risa Hontiveros. Sa pagharap ni alias Rene sa Senado, sinabi niyang may umiiral na sabwatan sa pagitan ng ilang ahensya ng gobyerno at ilang opisyal na umano'y ginagamit ang kanilang posisyon para sa pansariling interes. Ayon sa kanya, may mga dokumento at komunikasyong magpapatunay sa mga lihim na kasunduan. Agad namang nagtanong si Senator Bato sa mga detalye, ngunit marami ang nakapuna na tila siya'y nangangalampag, hindi lang para sa katotohanan kundi para pigilan ang lalong pagbubunyag. Sa kabilang bantay, kinagulat ng marami ang nabanggit ni alias Rene ang pangalan ng Senadora Risa Hontiveros. Ayon sa kanyang salaysay, may ilang proyekto at transaksyong pinagkakaitan umano ng kampo ni Hontiveros, taliwas sa kanyang imahe bilang tagapagtanggol ng karapatang pantao. Marin itong itinanggi ng senador at iginiit na paninira lamang ito para ilihis ang investigasyon. Sa kabila ng mga akusasyon, nananatiling palaisipan pa rin kung sino ang nagsasabi ng totoo. Patuloy ang investigasyon at inaasahang lalabas pa ang iba pang ebidensya sa mga susunod na pagdinig. Para sa pinakamabagong balita at ulat, manatiling nakatutok. At yan nga mga balitang ating pagkakatutukan, at kung bago ka pa lamang sa aking channel ay huwag kakalimutang mag-like, share and subscribe para updated ka sa mga bagong balita dito sa Tatak Pinas.
Puso na tong si Risa eh. Di ba? Sa Parmali meron. Doon sa issue ni Kian de los Santos meron. Dito kay Pastor Kibuloy at meron na naman ho. Kaya tayo napapaisip. Doon ba sa issue nitong si Alice Go, wala ho kayang binayaran itong si Risa para kumanta dyan sa issue nitong si Alice Go? Napapaisip lang ho tayo kasi nga naman, maya't maya meron na lang ganyang classic issue itong si Senator Risa Hontiveros. Kumbaga, yung track record niya ay talagang kung nakikita ng ating mga kababayan at kung nasusubaybayan nila nitong si Risa Hontiveros, hindi na ho talaga katiwa-tiwala, ika nga. Kaya kung ano man ang ikandak na hearing nitong si Risa Hontiveros, kasi ganito lang ho yan mga kababayan, no? Women and Children, Committee on Women and Children ho yan si Risa. Binira ho niya ng binira itong si Tatay Digong at itong si Pastor Kibuloy. Sa kabila ng napakarami hong tumatawag, base ho dun sa mga nababalitaan natin, napakarami daw hong nanghihingi ng tulong dyan sa committee na yan sa Senado. Ayan si Distress Mother. Nag-email na daw ho sa tanggapan ni Senator Risa Hontiveros. Yun ho talaga, matinding harassment tong inabot tong ali na yun. Di ba? Nakuha niya na lang hong nagpunta ng ibang bansa para ika nga maging safety sila ng kanilang mga pamilya. Hindi ho yun ang inaatupag ni Risa. Ang inaatupag ho niya kung paano siraan itong si BP Sara, si Tatay Digong at itong si Pastor Kibuloy. Kaya naman, sa tingin ho natin, ngayong mga panahon na to, dapat ho nating tanongin itong si Senator Risa Hontiveros, sino po si alias Rene? Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. Yan ang tanong nitong si Senator Bato de la Rosa dito kay Senator Risa Hontiveros. Ayun na nga mga kababayan, meron nung panawagan itong si Ka-Eric Ka-Eric Jeffrey Celis o Ka-Eric, kung tawagin mo siya Ka-Eric. Ito, pakinggan ho natin. Makiisa ho tayo sa panawagan na to kasi kung sakaling matanggal sa pwesto o masibak yang si Risa Hontiveros diyan sa ang tawag dito, diyan sa ito, panoorin natin mga kababayan.
Na ang real name niya ay Michael, no? At ngayon po pinag-uusapan ito sapagkat tahimik pa po ang reaksyon ng Senado at hindi pa po nagkakaroon ng anumang tugon sa bahagi ni Senator Risa Hontiveros, no? Pero seryoso po yung mga naging aligasyon na inihayag nitong si alias Rene na ngayon po ay lumantad na ng kanyang totoong pagkatao. Siya pala ay si Michael at napakinggan ko, no, 2 beses kaninang madaling araw itong video ni Michael na inilalahad niya kung paano po ginamit ni Senator Hontiveros ang kanyang kapangyarihan upang abusuhin ang poder niya sa Senado. No? Kaya nga, minabuti natin natalakayin pa rin ito sa ating pangalawang pagkakataon sa live natin, US and Universe. No? Tapos nandyan si Mina Alberto from New York. And gustuhin man natin, sir, na matanggal si Risa, mukhang di magaganap ang gusto natin kasi parang sila ang batas. Kung anong gusto nila, yun ang mangyayari. May punto ka rin, pero hindi po tayo dapat mawala ng pag-asa. At remember, natanggal din po sa House of Representatives si Congressman Arnie Teves by way of Committee on Ethics investigation, and nagkaroon ng recommendation on the plenary and adopted po. Inadapt po ng plenaryo ng House of Representatives with overwhelming majority votes na tanggalin sa pagka-kongresista si Congressman Arnie Teves. No? At sa tingin ko po, marapat lamang na gawin din po yan kay Senator Risa Hontiveros. Kung hindi man kaagad makakakuha ng at least, ang pagkakaalam po, 2/3 yata ang botohan dyan, 16. Kasi hindi po siya impeachable official, pero siya ay pwede po ipailalim sa
Yun na nga mahirap po no? Kasi siyempre mga kachokarat yung iba senador dyan, kaya mahirapan kumuha ng boto yan. Kumbaga magkakampi-kampihan lang yan. Kaibigan natin yung si Jen Risa, di natin tatanggalin yan. Kahit na nayuyurakan yung institusyon na pinoprotektahan nila, basta masalba lang nila itong si Senator Risa, okay na yung mga yan. Okay. Malungkot po tayo kung hindi matanggal sa pwesto yang si Risa Hontiveros. Pero yung pagkaka-expose ng kanyang mga kabalbalan sa social media, yung namumulat ang ating mga kababayan kung gaano kagarapal yung ali na yan pagdating sa mga witnesses, sapat na ho sa atin yun. Pero kung mapanagot siya, sitting senator yan ika nga ma-impluensya. Pagka senator, hindi, yan, medyo mabigat-bigat yan, hindi basta-basta napapakulong yan, ika nga. Kung di na lang talaga tatrabahuin ng administrasyon. Pero itong isa na to, kasapakat pa ho ng administrasyon, kaya malabo ho talaga. Pero itong pag-expose na to, paglalahad sa social media, makita ng ating mga kababayan kung anong klaseng tao itong ali na to na gustong maging presidente sa 2028, tayo ho satisfied na dito. Medyo okay na ho tayo dito. Pero mas maganda mapanagot siya. Pero ano nga naman siya, kadikit niya administrasyon, paano pananagutin? Ito sa mga ganitong klaseng video, nakikita ng mga kababayan natin kung gaano kawalang yayang si Risa. Okay na ho tayo dyan. Tayo dito sa PH Update, happy na ho tayo dyan sa mga ganyang klaseng development.
tatlong hakbang, no? Dahil dito sa ginawa niyang panluloko at malawakang paggamit ng pundo at kapangyarihan ng Senado upang abusuhin ito. So pwede po siyang mag-resign. That is a valid call also. Bagamat sabi mo nga ay sa ating viewer, depende po yan sa kanyang personal na desisyon. I agree. But as a matter of public pressure, we need to apply public pressure against her, mga kababayan, kay Senator Hontiveros, para po maramdaman niya at mapahiya siya na galit ang taong bayan sa kanyang ginagawang tanim witness na style.
Tanim witness.
Pangalawa,
tanim witness talaga.
maliban doon sa panawagan ng resignation, ipanawagan din po natin ang ethics, Committee on Ethics Investigation against Senator Hontiveros, nang sa ganun po ay magkaroon tayo ng boses sa loob ng Senado. At isa po yan pwede gawin na ang Senado mismo mag-imbestiga laban kay Senator Hontiveros, no? Pwede po magkaroon ito ng pagbabago sa magiging paninindigan o persepsyon ng mga senador, lalo na kung malinaw at maklaro po na mailalahad at mapatotohanan nitong alias Rene ang kanyang sinasabi na sinuhulan sila, at the same time ginamitan sila ng panluloko at pandaraya na para lamang matuloy itong maniobra ni Senator Hontiveros na magkaroon ng Senate Committee hearing upang wasakin ang pagkatao nila Pastor Kibuloy ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ, mga ministro nito, at pati po si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at si Vice President Sara Duterte po, idinawit pa dito sa ginawa ni Senator Hontiveros na kalokohan. So, pwede pong manawagan ang taong bayan ng resignation against kay Senator Hontiveros bilang panawagan ng public pressure. That is well within the authority and sovereign mandate of the people na bawiin ang ating pagkilala sa kanya bilang senador by calling for her resignation. Number 2, ipanawagan natin na dapat ang Senate Committee on Ethics ay magpasailalim po kay Senator Hontiveros sa investigasyon.
Si Bakay na
Ipatawag
yan.
po ang mga naging tanim witness niya. Hindi lang yata si alias Rene ang lumalantad ngayon. I have come to know na may iba pa na gustong lumantad na sinuhulan, ginamitan ng panloloko at pandaraya.
Tama itong si Sir Orlando E. De Leon eh. Tama yung mga birada niya kay Senator Risa. Dapat itong si Senator Risa Hontiveros, siya ang italaga bilang Secretary ng Agriculture. Mahilig daw siya magtanim. Palakpakan natin itong si Sir Orlando De Leon, pambira talaga. Oo.
Ni Senator Hontiveros para magkaroon siya ng mga tanim witnesses para mawasak niya ang dignidad ng isang religious leader at ng isang religious organization, at hindi lang siya nakontento doon, idinamay pa niya pati si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at si Vice President Sara Duterte. So maliban sa resignation, pwede pong ipanawagan din ang removal from the Senate ni Senator Hontiveros sa pamamagitan ng investigation by the Senate Ethics Committee, at i-present sa plenaryo ang mga findings nito at pagbubutuhan. Kung ito ba ay pwedeng simple majority, kung pwede ba 2/3, no? Kasi hindi ito impeachable official si Hontiveros, pero kailangan pong disiplinahin siya. At under the rules, ang may karapatan magdisiplina sa kanya ay ang Senado kung hindi siya mag-resign. At pwede po siyang tanggalin at i-remove as member of the Senate on the ground na nilabag niya ang rules hinggil po sa pagsasagawa ng matuwid at may tamang batayan, legal at makatarungan na committee hearing at mga investigation procedure in the performance of the Senate ng kanyang oversight function. Definitely po inabuso niya yan. At pangatlo po, dapat kasuhan din siya sa ombudsman, mga kababayan, upang mapanagot siya dito sa tampering of witnesses, pati na po sa violation sa Code of Ethical Standards and Professional Conduct ng isang public official. So pwede pong mga course of action yan. Sapagkat ito po ay inuulit ko, there is a pattern and propensity on the part of Senator Hontiveros na ginagamit niya ang impluensya, pondo, poder at kapangyarihan upang manloko ng mga witnesses, no? Because this is not the first time na na-involve siya sa tanim witnesses sa kanyang pagkatao mismo, no? Bantoya Edgar. Ito din po ang itinuturo sa kanya na ginawa niya ng mabuking po ni former Senator, the late Miriam Defensor Santiago, ang pandaraya sa mga witnesses at mga dokumento nila hinggil po kay Chief Justice Corona sa panahon po ng administrasyon ni Noynoy Aquino. So, isa po yan sa dapat nating tingnan kung papaano po nagiging abusado itong komitiba na nahahawakan ni Hontiveros. At ganoon din po ang sinasabi ni Atty. Topacio na there is a pattern and propensity in the conduct of tampering of witnesses on the part of Senator Hontiveros. So I hope po yung tatlong courses of action na pwede pong pasukan ng ating mga kababayan ay pwede pong yan ang ating magiging panawagan, no? Una, pwede pong manawagan ng immediate resignation ni Senator Hontiveros on the ground na very damning, no? Very revolting itong ginawa niyang pandaraya, panloloko ng mga witnesses at paggamit ng panunuhol. Lamang mawasak po ang pagkatao at integridad ni Pastor Kibuloy at ng mga religious organization sa ilalim nito, at dinamay pa po na tinawag niyang kriminal na sindikato sila Pangulong Duterte at sina Vice President Sara Duterte na iniuugnay niya sa kanyang storyline na tungkol po sa kay Pastor Kibuloy na pinapalabas niya na mga sindikato ang mga taong ito. So para masustain niya ito, nagbayad pala siya ng mga witnesses, and these are not strange na mga practices na ginagawa talaga pala ni Senator Hontiveros even before pa siya maging senador. At yan ay nakakabahala sapagkat we have a senator of the Republic of the Philippines na nag-i-engage sa modus operandi ng tanim witnesses sa pamamagitan po ng panloloko, pandaraya at mga panunuhol, which are all immoral and illegal.
Illegal,
Na dapat
yun.
po ito ay aksyonan ng Senado. Okay?
Ayun. Kaya naman, magkaisa ho tayo, manawagan na mag-resign na si Risa Hontiveros. Diba, Ka-Eric? Kailangan na talagang magkaisa ang sambayanan dahil perwisyo sa bayan yan si Risa Hontiveros. Dito ho tayo sa naging interview nitong si Ma'am Pinky Web dito kay Attorney Bukoy dyan sa Billionaire News Channel. Ano ba segment to? On point ho tayo, on point. Game, on point.
It's a matter of timing everything. We don't want to digress from the current focus.
Impeachment trial. It's
Game.
merely a rhetoric as it now
Bakit ho natin gustong pinapanood tong si Ma'am Pinky Web? Kasi maganda. Maganda siya, kaya gusto ko siya pinapanood. Hindi, kahit na pag bumitaw siya, walang kabayas-bayas. Kahit na yung pitik para sa mga Duterte, hindi mo mararamdaman yung pagkabayas kasi maya-maya pipitik na naman siya sa mga administration. Magaling yan si Ma'am Pinky Web. Idolo ho natin yan, palakpakan ho natin. Idol.
seeks a dismissal of the
Since CNN pa. Sa CNN pa, idol na natin yan. Dati kasi may CNN eh. Kung di ako nagkakamali, yan ang pinalit sa CNN. Yung Newswatch ba o CNN? Ano yun? Dating CNN, tapos nung nagsara yung CNN Philippines, pinalitan na ng pangalan, parang binili. Lahat ng social media account nila napunta doon. Hindi ko alam kung Newswatch o itong Newswatch ba Billionaire. Teka lang, check ko.
impeachment complaint filed against her. The panel says the defense failed to respond to the substance of the charges and instead tried to veer away from factual allegations by resorting to procedures and technicalities. Let's get on point with House Prosecution spokesperson Attorney
Tama. Yung dating CNN Philippines, siya yung naging Newswatch Plus Philippines. Yun ang naging bago na ngayon.
Antonio Bukoy. Attorney Bukoy, thank you so much for your time. It's good to see you in person. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thanks for the invitation.
All right, so
And it's
first,
my pleasure to be here.
thank you, sir. I wanted to find out, how did you get to be chosen as the spokesperson of the prosecution panel? How did you come into the picture, get into the picture?
Okay. Before I was engaged, I've been invited to a few interviews, teleradio, and the like, as a resource person. And from all apparent indications, some of my friends in the private prosecution group saw me. And they recommended me to the panel of public prosecutors.
So who actually recommended you? Would you be able to tell us?
Right now, no, because the names of the private prosecutors have yet to be announced.
That's why I wanted to ask you, sino ho ba? Who will form part of the private prosecutors? Because we already know the defense team of the
Yes.
Vice President.
Yes.
We know the House Prosecution
Yes.
Panel. What about the private partners of the House Prosecution Panel? Who are they?
They're coming out shortly.
Why?
But they are seasoned litigators. They are men and women who believe in the crusade to end impunity and to enforce moral accountability.
Why the secrecy? Why have they not come out?
It's a matter of timing everything. We don't want to digress from the current focus and digress towards the personalities involved. So the purpose is to focus on the issues, focus on moving the impeachment forward. Secondary na yung ano eh.
Ganun ba sila ka-popular na madadigress ang topic at sa kanila mapunta?
we want to ensure that we don't lose sight of the current issues.
All right.
But eventually they'll come out.
But these are guys we know. Are they familiar names?
I think so.
All right. Okay. Now let's go to the reaction of the response of the House Prosecution Panel to the reply of the Vice President's
The answer.
defense. I heard you a while ago. How do you describe this?
You mean the answer ad cautelam?
Yes.
Okay, ad cautelam is a Latin phrase that means for caution. this is resorted to when you challenge or you question the authority of the court. There's really nothing in the rules of court that says ad cautelam, but that had been a practice. The closest to an ad cautelam is a special appearance. By special appearance, you appear in court to challenge the jurisdiction of the court for the reasons or grounds stated in the rules of court. Now, the ad cautelam means I'm entering my appearance, or we are entering our appearance, but we do not recognize your authority right now.
With caution. Kaya po,
Kaya
with caution.
So
Okay.
they're not waiving questioning, or they're not waiving anything. In fact, we do not recognize, we do not acknowledge your jurisdiction.
Hindi ho ba ikagagalit yon ng, let's say, ng impeachment court because they entered their appearance before the impeachment court, before the senators sitting as senator judges ad cautelam. Cautelam. Ibig sabihin po, ito po kami nagpapakita pero hindi with caution, pero hindi namin nire-recognize ang jurisdiction ninyo.
Hindi namin nire-recognize o hindi pa namin nire-recognize.
Hindi pa.
But this is the clincher. They entered the appearance, they filed an answer again ad cautelam, but they asked for relief. How can you avail of relief when you do not even recognize
The jurisdiction.
Kasi magaling nga yung mga abogado ni VP Sara. Hindi naman pwedeng attorney, ikaw lang magaling. Ikaw lang, lahat na lang nasasabihin mo. Kaya nga yung mga abogado nagkakabangga yung mga punto de vista, no? Kung feeling nyo tama yung sinasabi nyo, mali yung sinasabi nila, pero sila, wala naman sila sinasabing mali sa ginagawa nyo, hayaan na natin ang Korte Suprema ang magdesisyon sa impeachment na yan. Sa mga usaping legal, di ba? Kung kayo lang, aabutin kayo ng umaga, magdamag, di ba? Hindi mariresolve yung mga pinag-aawain nyo na yan. Idulog nyo na sa Korte Suprema lahat. Ituloy nyo na yung impeachment na yan. Wala naman hong problema. Ang sigurado ho dito mga kababayan. Malalampasan yan itong si Vice President Sara Duterte at magiging presidente siya ng Pilipinas sa 2028. Tapos.
Categorically, the jurisdiction.
So that becomes a little bit of an irony, I guess.
That's an irony and it's an absurd situation.
But if they are saying, as they had mentioned in their summons na ad cautelam,
Answer ad cautelam.
so yun po, is that the right term?
Answer ad cautelam.
Would a reply, can't we use reply?
No.
Kailangan po answer ad cautelam.
Yes, because the responsive pleading to an answer is a reply, which the prosecution will file within 5 days from receipt.
Okay. Answer from the Vice President's side, reply from the House prosecution.
That's right.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the defense's arguments in their answer
Sure.
ad cautelam. Let's start with this. It is void ab initio as it violated the one-year bar rule. Of course, this talks about 1987 Constitution Article 11, Section 5. No impeachment proceeding shall be initiated against the same official more than once within a period of 1 year. So ito po yung kanilang unang argument on it is void ab initio. Plain and simple, it says there was a violation of the rule. Okay, how does the House plan to respond to this? Although, to be fair, I spoke to Congressman Joel Chua and Congresswoman Bel Zamora about this, and they had explained it to me, but please feel free. So go ahead.
The key word here is initiation. When is an impeachment complaint initiated? It is initiated when the plenary has included it, when the speaker has included it in the agenda of the plenary, and when the plenary transmits this to the House Committee on Justice.
Yeah.
There was never an initiation because none of the first 3 impeachment complaints ever transmitted to the House Committee on Justice.
All right.
On the other hand,
Initiated, yeah.
That's initiated.
And that's also some of the response or decisions, rather, of the Supreme Court.
that is a doctrine that has been interpreted by the Supreme Court in a long line of cases.
Okay.
On the other hand, the 4th impeachment complaint that we will call the 4th, no, which is the one pending now, it need not be referred to the Committee on Justice because under the rules, if an impeachment complaint is endorsed by 1/3 of all the members of Congress, there is no need to transmit this to the House Committee on Justice because the complaint itself becomes the articles of impeachment.
Yeah.
Yan pa ang problema natin dyan, Attorney Bukoy, no? Hindi ho kayo kabilang sa Kongreso. Pinapaliwanag nyo yung mga rules o kung ano pa man. Okay ho sana kung lalatagan nyo kami ng mga ganyang klaseng litanya. Congressman kayo. Ano lang kayo, private prosecutor. Dating parang tagapagsalita kayo pero magiging private prosecutor kayo at the same time kung di tayo nagkakamali ha. Pero sinasabi niya, tagapagsalita lang siya ng impeachment dyan sa House of Representatives. Pero ba sa ating nakikita, magiging mapapasama sa mga private prosecutor itong si Attorney Bukoy. Ang binibida niyo ho sa amin, yung rules ng House of Representatives. Hindi naman ho kayo congressman. Pag naging congressman ho kayo, doon kayo magbibida-bida.
So,
It turns into that, the
It turns
articles
into
of
that because
impeachment.
the complaint is verified. The requirement is the endorsers should also verify the articles of impeachment. What does verify?
Meron pa. At ang yung mga pumirma nabayaran na. Yan, dagdag mo yun. Yung verified ng complaint, kumpleto ang bayad ng mga pumirma, kaya na-transmit yung articles of impeachment. Huwag ko lang
By
huwag ko lang ka, Brad
to execute an oath, to verify it. Why an oath? Because it dispenses with the formality that we affirm the truthfulness and the correctness and the constitutionality.
Which they supposedly did.
Yes.
Okay.
No, not supposedly, which they have done.
That's what, yeah. At least in the many interviews we've had, they were saying that they did this. I just want to read part of that article, which, Attorney, you were talking about. Again, it's accountability of public officers. It says here that in case the verified complaint or resolution of impeachment is filed by at least 1/3 of all members of the House, the same shall constitute the articles of impeachment. That's exactly what
That's
you're
it.
talking about. I want to move on to
Sure.
one part here. I hope we can put this up on the screen because one issue here is this: the 10 session days. This could pose a problem, might not, and this is what Congresswoman Bell was answering. It says here, a verified complaint for impeachment may be filed by any member of the House of Representatives or by any citizen upon a resolution of endorsement by any member thereof, which shall be, this is the phrase that is important, which shall be included in the order of business within 10 session days and refer to the proper committee within 3 session days thereafter. So this is something that possibly needs to be clarified by the House members because there were 3 previous impeachment complaints. December 2, December 4, and then December 19 before
That's
the
right.
4th impeachment complaint
That's right.
made it to the Senate last February 5, sir. Is there a problem here?
No.
With the 10 session days?
They complied with the 10 session day requirement. Pasok yan.
How so? Kasi December 2, December 4, December 19.
We're talking
sir.
of session days.
Understandable, yes.
So, you exclude the holidays that they are not in session, you exclude the recess, they're not in session.
You exclude Thursday and Friday because they're not in
Yes,
session.
they're not in session. So, it's session days. We looked at we verified with the records of the plenary, and they're all within the 10 session days.
So the December 2, the first impeachment complaint that was filed, still is falls within
The
the 10
10
session days that it's supposed
Yes,
to be.
all three. All three.
And the House is ready to prove this.
Oh yeah,
Because it might be hard, sir, no?
no, but that's water under the bridge now. Okay? Why? Once the impeachment complaint or the articles of impeachment is transmitted to the Senate, there is now a presumption of regularity and legality and constitutionality. That's a resolution adopted by the previous, that was a previous resolution by the previous impeachment court during the time of the impeachment of Chief Justice Corona. And that is all law of precedence, stare decisis. There's a basis now for this impeachment court to follow. But the issue now here is they did not follow that previous ruling.
But if that is the defense, that there is a presumption of regularity,
Yes.
why did the Senate, sitting as an impeachment court, want a certification
Okay.
from the House on two things? Number one, that they did not violate the one-year rule,
Yes.
and that the 20th Congress is ready and willing to continue on with this impeachment. If there's a presumption of regularity, bakit po hinihingi pa to ng impeachment court sa House?
Okay. What they did was, they said, we are returning this to Congress. They are not ordering the prosecution. They are ordering the House. Okay? A co-equal body of the legislature. They're ordering the House.
But it's not a co-equal now. Once they are in an impeachment court,